environment and where we are. So the Arewa horses are our local horses here in Nigeria, right? They are our local horses, and then we have the Talons, which are a mix of, I think, Cameroon and Niger, and then we have the Sudanese horses. And then recently now, because there is some intentionality around horse breeding in Nigeria, which is welcome and much needed, let me say, practice, because we invest so much in importing horses. And when these horses come, it's difficult for them to thrive because the environment is different. You have challenges with diseases and stuff. So recently we have breeders coming up. So we have a new group of horses that they call Niger breed.
When the racing is up to speed, these horses stand up to answer their names. I'm particularly enamored by their appellations. They connote bravery, athleticism, endurance, competitiveness, character, and nobility. Not even Homer can capture the depths of their characterization. When you hear names like Lailatul Qadri or the Knight of State, Diamond, Dan Talaka, literally the son of the poor, Godiya ga Allah, glory to God, Kibia, Arrow, Bullet, or Kadanda Magani, when quality matters, then you know you are up against horses that are unique. These horses are battle-hardened. Many of them, when they pick up speed, they don't need a photo finish camera. It is absolutely not necessary.
We have invested so much in breeding horses that will have an equivalent strength of Argentine horses, which are the fastest horses in Africa. And those horses are already on track. You know, they have started racing, and the difference is very clear, it's very eminent. So I can also tell you this for free. You can take it to the bank and take your cash. That in the next few years, maybe in about 5 years, all polo players and horse racers will not go to Argentina to spend billions of naira to buy horses. You will have them here with equal strength with what you can get in Argentina.
One of the virtues of this horse racing is that it is witnessing the emergence of new generation of horse breeders. Now that is not an easy terrain because it is a whole value chain of owning horses, breeding and cross-breeding, veterinary care, dietary attention and more. Actually, there is a good news around breeding of horses for racing purposes in Nigeria and more.
Because in the entire, racing industry, we have over 100 jockeys. So this is a multiplier effect. If you multiply it by the number of their family members, so it's entirely a revenue-generating thing. So horse racing is very wide. And then, as you can see, we are racing across the African Sahara, which is, almost about 11 countries within Africa. Now we have spectators, horse owners, jockeys coming from all these African countries, to come and converge in Kaduna to witness the closure of the, 2025, session, of the Horse Racing Federation of Nigeria. So by the day, we are getting recognition, and more people are gaining interest. I can tell you for free, between the last race we did in Zaria and this race that we are doing here in Kaduna, we've gotten additional owners, up to about 5 additional owners. People buying horses to become owners.
Actually, Mustafa Abubakar Bida is one disciple of Etsunupe who does most of the field work that is given this Renaissance color, vibe and impetus. See him here, taken over by excitement as the horses burn the tracks in one of the heats in Kaduna. He is actually the national coordinator of the Horse Racing Federation of Nigeria and shared with the Etsu that undying love for horse racing. And true to character, he owned the SD stable in Bida, and his horses have traveled. However, Mustafa Abubakar Bida is the jockey spearheaded renewed hope in sports of horse racing in Nigeria. Whenever horse racing competition is going in Nigeria, under the Horse Racing Federation of Nigeria, there are always some standout individuals and organizations. Their commitment to the Renaissance is uncommon. The SD stable in Bida and the Speedy stable in Bauchi especially. Horses from these stables have engaged one another over long periods in healthy competitions. There are also individual horse owners from all of North that are never behind and fiercely competitive. Owners apart, the real icons of the games, the horses apart, are the jockeys. They are the drivers of the horses, the skilled personnel who combine adventure, clinical horsemanship, and vision to navigate the racing tracks with the speed and promise until they get to the gate of heaven. I have the privilege of talking to one of the taskmasters, the indomitable Kanta. He races for the Swedish stable in Bauchi and had already won 3 cars.
I am from Niger Republic, but my master is from Bauchi State. There was a time he asked me to bring horse from Niger to his house in Bauchi. The horse name is Speedy. We lost it to road accident last year. But Speedy was a horse I won over 10 vehicles with. It is such a horse that delivers what it mattered most. To us personally, raising is our life. Everything we acquire is through it. Where it is stopped, we could only.
If there is anything this horse racing is doing to older generations, it is bringing back memories, sweet memories of their childhood. In the Kaduna finale, the Emir of Zazzau in particular dig into his memory and how he actually welcomed this revival effort.
This game has done something terrific to us. That is uniting all our people together. You can see a significant number of the, spectators here are common people, not the high and mighty in the society, which is remarkable. Everybody is happy, and we all, had fun. For me personally, I think this is something that has taken me back 50 years now to remember my youth when I was just a child of about 9 years old, I think. I was always here. My house is just outside the gate here.
The Kaduna finale actually saw presences of galaxies of Nigerian traditional rulers who are moved by nostalgia and love for the sport. In fact, one of the emirs, Mai Machinama of Machina, Yobe State, Bashir Al-Bashir Bukar, holds a competitive horse racing every year at the annual Machina Everett Festival, which I attend every year. Actually, these emirs were in Kaduna race with the emission. They want their emirates to be part of the Horse Racing Federation schedule next year and always. Across the 3-day event, there were various cups to be won. With the every win, there are prizes in cars and prize money for the first, second, and third. The competition is conducted through a division system. The beauty of the Kaduna race is the fact that the racing ground is in good condition. It provides opportunity for clear vision, safety of the horses and spectators. Notable camps competed for are Emir of the Cup and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Cup. Closer home, a professional colleague of NTA, who is now a chieftain of the Ali Emirate, had a cough on his father's name and he was on hand to give it out to the winner.
Actually, our late father, late Tundazo Alaji Ismail Ahmed, has been part and parcel of this sport. Yes, he has been there, he has been a feeler. That is why when this revival was done, they deemed it right to feel a cough in favor of him. That is why we are here to present the cough in behalf of the family of the late Ismail Ahmed.
Okay, and that's a great thing to do.
Okay, yes,
so, but you are happy with what you are
Very, very happy.
The race on the final day was like a day of reckoning for the racers. The square was full to capacity. The expectations were high. So are the stakes. Yes, cars are embodied in the prizes, but it's also about delivering at the highest level. All eyes were on the racers, and true to God, they did not disappoint. Are you happy with what you are seeing?
Extremely happy. I mean, going from where we started from and where we are today is an amazing success. Despite all the challenges, and we've been able to overcome them.
Did you see the passion here today, the interest?
It's awesome. And this is a revival of the times of Sadana Ahmadu Bello. So we are bringing that glory back to the northern region.
Obviously.
Yes.
What do you think we need to do now to enhance it? Now that interest...
We still need more publicity and also encourage the young ones, you know, who wants to be jokey, and also, I mean, it's a tradition, you know, that needs to be encouraged. You know, we don't have to wait for Awandoki during the Salah period and whatever. But the sport is amazing.
This support is for affluent. But we want to see more people, because whenever you come, you only see SD stable, you only see the Speedy stable, you don't see much.
Yeah, as I can tell you, here today we have two to three new people, even from Kwara State, from Ilori Emirates, coming here to also join. So it's...
One of the takeaways from this race is the level of attendance and interest shown by the people. It is beautiful. We ran into individuals who belong to stables and are thinking big ahead of the next competition already.
But we hope to be participating fully. But we have a horse coming up next, Gimbia, that will be racing, and we hope she does a great job. I think what we need to do to elevate it is to have a lot of young people involved in this. We need to spread the awareness, social media, printing, and Horse Racing Federation is doing a great job as it is, spreading the word. So I believe it's up to the youth. We need to go to the schools. We need to have programs. We certainly are going to do what we can at Kwara Horse Club to spread the awareness as well into Kwara State and anywhere we can, because it's definitely something that we feel is going to grow even bigger and bigger. Next year will be even bigger than this.
Gimbia, the mayor from Kwara, put a good showing at the race and received standing applause. Well, as this year's competition winds up, one thing is sure, thousands of people will go back home saying that we have never known how beautiful and exciting horse racing is. And I'm sure they will prepare very well for it next year. Now, as part of that celebration, there is a parade that is going to take place now of all the riders, and it is led by a police band. The situation here is actually a parade for a generation of ponies, all not beyond 2 years, all bred in Nigeria, and are sure to take over from the species we now have. They may look young to you, but underestimate them at your peril. They move like they are launched from a rocket. As the dust from the racing track is dissipating and dusk is setting in, there are prizes to be given. Various horses receive their garlands. As the curtain is drawing on the Sahel Savannah Series 2025, there are certainly lessons to be taken home to guide what will happen next year.
I think I'm going back home to be able to spread the word, to show all the different levels of horses, to be able to let people know that we still have a long ways to go, but we are willing to put in the work, to let them see the beautiful culture and all the emirates and royalty that's here.
All in all, it is a most pleasant experience in Kaduna, and obviously, one is looking forward to what happens next year.
From north to south, from east to west, we share one blood in our veins. The blood of Nigeria, Nigeria's blood proud and strong. We stand together, we belong together, we cherish our diversity. We celebrate our unity, we honor our history, we shape our destiny. We are Nigerians, Nigerian mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, brave and free. We love our country, we live by our fierce, unique bond. This is our blood.
Nigeria, better together.
Fire is beneficial to humanity, but becomes an enemy when its presence is destructive or devastating. Fire outbreak can happen anywhere at any time, mostly without warnings, whether you're at home, in school, or in public places. Knowing how to prevent and respond to fire incidents can make a difference. Fire extinguishers are vital components of fire safety strategies across various environments. They enable immediate action, helps prevent the escalation of fire, and protect lives.
When you pick up an extinguisher, the first thing you should do is to pull out your pin, the safety pin. You can put it in your pocket if you have the calmness. If you don't have the calmness, just pull it out. And then you now have to lift the lever, and then when you lift the lever, you're holding the nozzle. Professionally, we understand what we refer to as the source of fire, or the base of fire. This is where the fire is emanating from. So you squeeze your lever and then you move your nozzle from left to right or right to left, if the case may be, at the seat or base of fire, not the flames.
Let's explore some tips on staying calm and assisting others during a fire emergency. 1. Stay calm. Panic can spread quickly and make the situation worse. Take deep breaths.
It's a world of exciting programs.
This program will be coming your way every day on ATA Channel 5. Abuja.
And that concludes the English version of the news.
Assalamu alaikum, barkanmu da yammacin Juma'a.
Rapo Kinoye wa Hambo Moka for Chisona.
Kaleo, ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí pé láti lè ṣe amóhùnmáwòrán nìkan mọ́.
Delightful moments via a telecast. Tell the world what gave you your happiness or pains, and for the how, where, and why. Share your joys of coronation. chieftaincy orders, engagement parties, traditional wedding ceremonies, weddings fatiha, nikah, naming ceremony church programs, housewarming, inaugurations, award nights, school and social events, or moments of grief like burial ceremonies with many others. Don't let your event start and your story not be told on Memories every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on this station. Memories, making your events memorable.
You're welcome to Entertainment Gist right here on Nigerian Television Authority.
So, what do we know? Absolutely nothing.
No. So I told him I don't have character. I don't have respect.
Nobody know. You got the key, we go open the door. Broke all the rules all the time just to get to you.
Keep glued to this TV set as I'll be back next week.
On the news at 1, Federal Executive Council holds special session in honor of late former president. FCTA moves to strengthen health system. And African Center empower IDPs with leadership skills. Welcome to the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Mariam George Jitubo. Special activities in honor of late Muhammadu Buhari got to the climax yesterday as the Federal Executive Council members held an expanded session to mourn the immediate past president. President Bola Tinubu, who chaired the special session in memory of his late political ally, renamed the University of Maiduguri after the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
At the end of an era, a once leader of the House would be celebrated by a new generation led by his successor, President Bola Tinubu. An unprecedented expansion session of the highest decision-making body of government came to order for the immediate past presidents who passed on. In addition to the leadership of the National Assembly, members of the immediate family of late President Muhammadu Buhari would equally witness the honor done to their late father.
We meet to honor a man whose presence.
His political ally and successor, Bola Tinubu, never lacks words to describe the late leader on a day like this.
President Buhari's life was one of austere honor. He stood always ramrod straight, unmoved by the temptation of power, unseduced by applause, and unafraid of the loneliness that often visits those who do what is right, rather than what is popular. Was a quiet courage, a righteousness that never announced itself. His patriotism was lived more in action than in words.
President Tinubu also illuminates the consistency in the life, time and character of late Buhari.
President Buhari was not a perfect man, no leader is, but he was, in every sense of the word, a good man, a decent man, an honorable man. His record will be debated as all legacies are, but the character he brought to public life, the moral force he carried, the incorruptible standard he presented, will not be forgotten. Ace was a life lived in full service to Nigeria and in fidelity to God.
Other leaders and members of the cabinet also had their times to account the respective sides they saw in the man Muhammadu Buhari.
A very principled man. He stood for something. And in a world where it is easy to chase headlines, he chose instead to chase on. Where others sought glory, he sought duty.
His development vision reached beyond the present and into the future. The roads, railways, and bridges he built are lasting gifts to the generations yet unborn.
A man whose life was woven into the fabric of our nation. A soldier, a patriot, a statesman, and above all, a devoted servant of the Nigerian people.
And then an appreciation from the Buhari's family.
It has showed that he was regarded far more than a politician, but regarded as a friend and a father. To all members of the Federal Executive Council, for the care and befitting state burial accorded to our late father, we appreciate you all.
The former head of state was the second Nigerian who ruled twice with his second reign as a democratic leader between May 29, 2015 and May 29, 2023. President Muhammadu Buhari, who died at 82 in London, was laid to rest this Tuesday in his hometown of Dara.
Naming of University of Maiduguri with a new name as Muhammadu Buhari University, Maiduguri.
Present grace in perfect peace. Amen.
From the State House, Muspa Then Wahab, NC News.
To health matters. As part of efforts to strengthen the health system in the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT administration has commenced a capacity building program for health managers. The initiative, tagged Subnational Cascade Training, is aimed at equipping stakeholders with skills and knowledge needed to drive a resilient and efficient health sector. Monday Secretary of the Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe, says while ensuring the functionality of primary health centers remains a priority, the administration also focused on building strong structures backed by data-driven decision-making. Aisha Bali tells us more.
As early as 8 o'clock in the morning, health managers from various area councils across the Federal Capital Territory converged for a crucial training session geared towards reshaping the health system in the territory. Tasked with handling data vital for policy formulation, participants are expected to play a pivotal role in strengthening healthcare delivery. The training, therefore, is seen as a critical investment in their capacity.
A lot of students now, they don't want to be involved in the primary health care level. So I think this workshop, like I said, is timely and it will help integrate our plans.
Covering key aspects such as health budgeting, sector-wide approach, health under one roof policy, and the FCT health sector blueprint. Speakers at the event emphasized the collective commitment of stakeholders towards building a more resilient and effective health system.
They have to go nail down to the problem, and after that they have to figure out the solutions, and only with those solutions can they begin to plan.
At a critical junction where Nigeria is taking a transformation journey towards achieving the universal health coverage. And as you can see, the capacity building workshop signifies the spirit of collaboration.
However, our needs cannot come from how we feel, it's from data. So I'm also saying data is very important.
Responding to journalists on the state of primary health care centers, Monday Secretary Health Services and Environment Secretariat Dr. Ajejola Ashawe clarified that PHCs fall under the jurisdiction of area councils. However, she noted that the administration is actively engaging relevant stakeholders to address existing challenges. The 4-day training has been described as a platform for innovative collaboration and strategic planning key to driving reforms and improving health outcomes across the territory. Aisha Ubali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria has organized a health and wealth awareness program for civil servants aimed at enhancing their overall well-being and financial stability. Isaac Jibo reports that the initiative, which seeks to educate members on the importance of healthy living and sound financial planning, also featured expert medical advice and wealth management tips.
The Health and Wealth Awareness Program, themed Empowered Health, Empowered Wealth, Unlocking Workforce Productivity, brought together senior civil servants to explore practical ways of achieving better well-being and financial security. Declared open by Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Chinasa Nnam, the event was timely as workers seek strategies to stay productive and resilient.
All members are encouraged, to key into this program because in one way or the other, it affects our health. And like I said earlier, health is wealth. When there is a healthy civil service, it will affect productivity as well.
The program featured various activities, including water therapy, medical checkups, blood pressure, sugar tests, eye examinations, and wealth awareness session.
If members now have more awareness about their medical needs, their health needs, they become healthier in the long process, in the long run, then eventually their own life expectancy will equally increase.
Interactive sessions allowed members to share experiences and seek advice to retirement planning and investment opportunities. The chairperson, Ministry of Information and National Orientation Chapter, Chika Okachuku, emphasized the initiative necessity, citing how poor health and low financial awareness can reduce productivity and shorten lives.
This NHIS, because NHIS is my core message today. We government have subsidized healthcare for us, but how many people are accessing it? Some of this treatment, BP, diabetes and everything, if dictated on time, there are drugs that can help.
The program encouraged civil servants to adopt new habits, securing their future and well-being. In Abuja, Isaac Jibo, NTA News.
The African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development has launched a new initiative tagged Operation Scale Up, aimed at empowering internally displaced persons in the Apo resettlement area with leadership skills and educational support for their children. The initiative is designed to provide IDPs not just with basic relief, but with the tools to become self-reliant and active contributors to society. Rosemary Moltelem Bilal reports.
It was a day of hope and inspiration as the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development launched its flagship program, Operation Skills Up, targeting both parents and children within the IDP community in Apo district. The initiative provided school supplies and training materials for the beneficiaries and designed to strengthen the educational journey of students and equip women with essential leadership and vocational skills. Organizers say the project is focused on building the capacity of individuals to take on leadership roles and participate actively in community development processes.
What we want to achieve at the end of the day is that to alleviate poverty among the people, because this place, as you say, is an IDP camp, and we have learned from them before now that they could not even get writing materials. That if you can help in that area, they will appreciate, and that is why we are doing what we are doing.
Dr. Otive Buzo and his wife, Ejiro, decided to put this in place as their own contribution to national development, to ensure that leaders are trained. You are born a leader, but are you born a good leader?
For the pupils and school management, gratitude filled the air as they welcomed the support with open arms, describing it as timely and impactful.
So happy because they've relieved us of some items that we need in the school, like the writing materials they brought. At least it will go a long way helping these children.
Thank you. We give us all book. Thank you, Center LSD, for give us books and gifts.
The African Center pledged its continued commitment to supporting vulnerable groups with a promise to sustain similar interventions across undeserved communities. Rosemary Mortel Bilal, NTA News.
Similarly, in its continued effort to uplift vulnerable groups, the Caleb Danladi Foundation has extended financial support to over 100 widows in the Dadu district of Jaba local government area of Kaduna State. This latest gesture comes just weeks after the foundation empowered 200 widows as part of activities marking the 2025 International Widows' Day. Odiri Ogboru Arutere reports.
67-year-old widow Sarah Luka is one of the beneficiaries of the Caleb Danladi Foundation Cash Empowerment Program at Dadu District in Jaba local government area of Kaduna State. The mother of 5 says she plans to use the fund to revive her potty trading business, which folded several years ago.
I have to say I appreciate him for what he has done to all the people and all the widows in the community. Because this money that he's giving to us, it will surely help us seriously because of the season that we are now. We can make use of it to buy some many school fees or some medicine to spray it for our farms.
The Caleb Danladi Foundation is renowned for its life-changing empowerment programs targeted at the underprivileged in society, aimed at improving livelihoods across the North Central region. Representing the founder, Caleb Danladi, the Jaba coordinator of the foundation, David Took, explained that the initiative is part of a broader vision to support widows, orphans, and other vulnerable groups in southern Kaduna and beyond.
Our founder, Caleb Danladi, is your son and also a person who has the interest of the widows. For the matter of fact, the cash donation is the second phase of the one that happened this year, and he also promised that more will be coming.
The cash donation event held at the Ekwa local church in Dadu had in attendance the village head of Ungwa Rana Dadu, Mika Dogo, among other community leaders. Otiri Ogboru Arutiri, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. We'll be back after this message. Do stay.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The news station NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
To know you're there. Now, from a modest beginning in Nigeria to making a mark in the competitive South Korean auto market, and eventually returning home to build one of Abuja's most trusted car dealerships, Law Auto's journey is a testament to resilience, integrity, and vision. As the company marks its 6th anniversary, the celebration also coincides with the birthday of its CEO, whose entrepreneurial spirit and passion for service excellence have shaped the company's trajectory. Kama Kama has more on that.
Nestled at the heart of Gwarimpa's 4th Avenue, Law Autos has become a household name in Abuja auto dealership scene, renowned for offering clean, top-grade vehicles for high-end luxury models to everyday commuter rides. What makes Law Auto stand out? Transparency. Clients say the dealership's philosophy is simple. What you see is what you get. This honest approach, combined with customer satisfaction and post-sales support, has earned Law Auto a reputation that speaks louder than adverts. As the company clocks 6 years of uninterrupted service, the atmosphere was festive, with staff, family and friends joining the CEO to celebrate both the business milestone and his birthday.
Please wish him all the best, like not just because today is his birthday, because every single day I wish him all the best.
I wish my daddy has more, he can sell car more.
As far as car dealing is concerned in Abuja, when it comes to comfort and luxury, you have nowhere to search than Law Autos.
I wish him long life and prosperity, more wins, greater heights. If you watch critically, you see that people surround him. And why do they do this? It's because he's a great person.
The CEO, a proud son of Edo State, shared his journey from migrating to South Korea at the age of 22 in search of greener pastures, to returning home to build a business rooted in trust. He advised Nigerian youths to embrace patience, hard work, and integrity. His message: success has no shortcuts.
Our cars is so unique because South Korean cars, they are known for their fullest option cars, and they don't sell accidental cars, more or like in US. You know, US, they have different varieties. They have both accidental and clean title. But in Korea, most of their cars, 99% are clean title cars. You know, it's been a long way coming, man. We're just gonna keep pushing hard and give the best to you guys. And I also want to say a big thank you to all our customers.
Law Auto doesn't just sell cars, it offers a package: free vehicle registration, complimentary first service, 1-year usage guarantee, and insurance support for selected purchases. With the slogan "Buy and Zoom Off," the dealership is not only selling mobility, it's selling peace of mind. Kama Kama, NTA News.
Let's now join the business desk for business news.
Welcome to Business News. I'm Hakimat Aliu Ibrahim. The federal government is deepening efforts to enhance food and nutrition safety through a strategic collaboration with the Permanent Interstate Committee for Drought Control in the Sahel. This was disclosed on Tuesday by the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliu Abdullahi, during a recent courtesy visit by a sales delegation led by its Executive Secretary, Abdullahi Mamadou, to the minister. The minister pointed out that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is actively working to implement the Renewed Hope agenda on food and nutrition safety, focusing on transforming the agricultural sector. Moving on, the headline inflation for June 2025 moderated to 22.22% relative to the May 2025 headline inflation rate of 22.97%. This was disclosed by the National Bureau of Statistics on Wednesday, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report released by the Bureau. The year-on-year figure reflects a 0.75 percentage points decline from the previous month and a significant 11.97 percentage point drop when compared to June 2024, which recorded an inflation rate of 34.19%. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has partnered with the Nigerian Customs Service to remove the country from the Financial Action Task Force's grey list. Both organizations made the announcement over the weekend during a briefing after Measures Fund Managing Director Olubunmi Kuku and Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, toured the international wing of the Lagos Airport. Financial experts say without basic financial knowledge, more people are vulnerable to fraud, poor investment decisions, Deborah Gazajimaika in this report examines the consequences.
Central Bank of Nigeria estimates that only 38% of Nigerian adults are financially literate. The Apex Bank attributed the problem to absence of structured financial education, which leave many young people unprepared to make informed financial decisions. The challenge in achieving widespread financial awareness is limited access to quality education, socioeconomic disparities, and a lack of structured financial literacy programs, according to a cross-section of Nigerians.
Most of the problems we have had in businesses is as a result of the fact that we didn't have financial literacy.
Even among the women who used to be better financial managers, is dropping. And so the men are taking over. So we are at a point where we cannot say it's now the women or the men. We know that everybody right now needs financial literacy.
Financial literacy is just having a mindset and believing you can do it. That is actually the first thing. If you believe you can do it, every other thing will fall under.
And that's it on Business News. The news continues shortly.
Let's see what is trending in the sports world.
Nigeria showcased its sprinting strength on home soil, delivering commanding performances in the women's 100 meters event at the ongoing Confederation of African Athletics Under-18 and Under-20 Championship at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, Ogun State, in front of an enthusiastic local crowd, with Miracle Ezechukwu taking gold in a time of 11.88 seconds. She was closely followed by Rosemary Nwankwo at 11.96 seconds and Funke Jegede at 12.20 seconds, completing a clean sweep for the host nation. In contrast, Nigeria's male sprinters faced stiffer competition from their regional rivals in the under-20 men's 100 meters final. Clinton Owatinya of Kenya emerged victorious with a time of 10.42 seconds ahead of Botswana at 10.50 seconds. Nigeria's Caleb John finished third in 10.61 seconds. And moving on to women's football, 2024-2025 Nigeria Women's Football League champions Bayelsa Queen have commenced preparations for the upcoming campaign on the continent. The Prosperity Girls came from behind to edge Sunshine Queens 2-1 in the first match of their playing tour on Thursday. The match, held at the Adeyemi Federal University of Education Sports Complex in Ondo City, saw Sunshine Queens take the lead in the 67th minute with Faith Oyewole's shot that beat Linda Jiwaku in goal for the Prosperity Girls. After a goalless first half, all games in Lagos will be played at the Maracana Stadium in Ajegunle as the team prepares for the Wafu Zombi CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers in Cote d'Ivoire next month. First Brave, Moses Kuye, NTA News.
And sports concludes the news at 1. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Mariam George Jitubo.
It's a world of exciting programs.
This program will be coming your way every day on NTA Channel 5.
Abuja.
And that concludes the English version of the news.
Assalamu alaikum, barkanmu da yammacin Juma'a.
Bravo, Kinoye, Wahambo, Moka for Chisona.
Kaleo, ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí pòrí láti lè ṣe amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì kan.
Delightful moments via a telecast. Tell the world what gave you your happiness or pains. And for the how, where, and why. Share your joys of coronation, chieftaincy honors, engagement parties, traditional wedding ceremonies, weddings fatiha, nikah, naming ceremony church programs, housewarming, inaugurations, award nights, school and social events, or moments of grief like burial ceremonies with many others. Don't let your event start and your story not be told on Memories every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on this station. Memories, making your events memorable.
You're welcome to Entertainment Gist right here on Nigeria Television Authority.
So, what do we know? Absolutely nothing.
No. So I told him I don't have character. I don't have respect.
Nobody know. You got the key, we go open the door. Broke all the rules all the time just to get to you.
Keep glued to this TV set as I'll be back next week.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Da is for Deen al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah. And Ra is for the month of Ramadan.
Hijab, derived from the Arabic word hajaba, meaning to conceal. It is a practice of modesty in dressing and conduct, with the most visible manifestation of a head covering for women. However, it is not just about covering the head, but it also encompasses a broader concept of dressing modestly and conducting oneself with dignity. May the peace and blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal be upon you all, and I welcome you to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed. On today's episode of the program, we are going to be discussing on modesty, but our focus on the discussion segment is going to be on hijab. But before we link you up with our guest, who is Professor Rafa'at, we are going to start the program with the recitation from the glorious Quran. And still on the program, we have a new segment for you, which is the Deen and Dunya segment. So let's start the program now with the recitation from the glorious Quran. As always, stay tuned.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت متفقا صدق الله العظيم.
That is for zakah to cure our greed when we give our money to those in need.
That was the recitation of some of the verses of the glory. So our main discussion segment and our guide is going to be Professor Rafa'at Abdul Hamid, who is going to be talking to us on the significance of hijab in Islam. Bismillah.
Sa is for salamun alaykum. Peace be with you wa alaykum assalam.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. My viewers, I want to greet you with the greeting of peace, and that is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. And I also want to welcome you to the program known as Light of Islam. In today's episode, inshallah, we'll be looking at the significance of hijab. And as we are all aware, hijab or the cover is one of the instructions given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as men, as women, to cover our body and to appear decently. For men, the way and manner Islam prescribed may be different from that of the women, but that notwithstanding, Islam encourages modesty in our appearances. Why we are looking at this concept today is because of what we see in our society. Many people have misconceived the concept of hijab, or why women or Muslims are encouraged to put hijab. Alhamdulillah, in the society today, we have seen that men cover their body even beyond what Islam encourages us to encourage them to do, while women do the vice versa, the opposite. Women that are encouraged to cover the whole of their body today, we see some women, especially Muslim women, that do not cover, and they don't look at it as, part of the obligation levied on them. And this is because of the little of no knowledge they have on the position of hijab in Islam. Hijab, as we are all aware, is as important, as compulsory as that of Salat. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has give this instruction in the Quran in so many places. In fact, one of the places where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mentioned that women should cover their body is this verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu qul li azwajika wa banatika wa nisa'il mu'minina yudinina alayhinna min jalabibihin dhalika adna an yu'rafna fala yu'dhin. Sadaqallahul azim. Allah in this verse says, "O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the believing women that they should cover their body when they go out." This is more important, or most important, because they should be, recognized and identified so that they will not be molested. This is a very big instruction given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this verse again has bring a lot of, misunderstanding, mispresentation, because you see you find some people saying that the instruction is not levied on the Muslim women in generality, but it is just related to Rasulullah. But I think the verse is explicit enough because it has mentioned three categories of women: the wives of Rasulullah, the children, the daughters of Rasulullah, and even the believing women. And I believe every Muslimah is a believing woman. So this verse and other verse are applicable, or is applicable to all the Muslim women. Today in our society, we have seen a lot of challenges among those Muslim women that are ready to uphold the hijab. This is because of the way and manner people look at the women today, especially when they uphold the hijab and they attack different names. Some are even regarded as being too extremist. Some are regarded as fanatics. Some are regarded, they are given different names based on where one finds himself. And this is why we have seen in some of our schools today, in some of our institutions, even Muslim women and girls are deprived of using or of upholding this obligation of upholding the hijab. That is by putting on the hijab. We have seen series of cases where examinations where girls are deprived to write examination, WAEC, GEC, and so on and so forth. In some courses in the university, we have seen that there are introduction of so many types of ways, like they call it what is it called? They call it dresses that are unique, that are, and so on and so forth. And so some of these dresses that even some trades, some courses or some department, encourages their girls to put on are contradicting to the teachings of Islam. And there is no point whatsoever to deprive women putting, or girls, or youth, or students putting on the hijab even while undertaking any type of course. After all, we have seen that children have made, or youth, students have made excellent results while putting on their hijab. So it has nothing to do with the brain. It has nothing to do with achieving excellence. It has nothing to do with becoming expert in every sector. Today, alhamdulillah, we are all living witnesses on what we see in our society among those women that uphold the hijab. We have bankers among them, we have nurses, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have lecturers, and so many of them in different sectors, yet they are doing very well in their respective places of work. So that means that the hijab has nothing to do. It is just an instruction. It is an adornment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to the Muslim woman to put on. And then because the Muslim woman, if you look at her physique nature, is quite different from that of the man. Every part of the Muslim woman, the woman in general, is very attractive. And so Islam wanted to protect promiscuity and vices or immorality in the society. Yes, I know there is this debate or argument that some Muslim women in hijab are found to be involved in so many acts of vices despite their putting of hijab. But that is not a reason for us not to put it. Those women that use the hijab to commit sin, to commit atrocities, I think we ask Allah to forgive them, but that is not the essence of putting hijab. At the same time, we have seen so many women that have upheld hijab and they have retained their dignity and personality in the society, yet they have a lot of respect before the society. So this is an encouragement to all of us that Islam has levied on us. If the Quran has mentioned specifically that every Muslim woman should cover her body so that she will be recognized, at least for us to have that umbrella, to have that same flag as a Muslimah, that is to cover our body, I think it is very necessary, and avoid molestation. Of course, just like I have said, there are many women that because they are under the hijab, they are not molested. I have had cases of women that put the hijab that even men do not look at them because they do not see anything attractive in them. And this is what the Islam wants to achieve. The woman should be preserved. The woman should have enough protection, despite the fact that she has every beauty, but that beauty should be concealed, should be protected. And then we have also seen medically that those women that put on the hijab are protected from the sun, they are protected from diseases like the cancer and so on and so forth. So a lot of benefits, are bound when we put on the hijab and we do it. But most especially because it is an ibadah, a total obedience to Allah's instruction, we should be able to emphasize the ikhlas and sincerity of our intention when we put the hijab. And under no circumstance that a woman should be found, wanting, using the hijab to commit any form of vices whatsoever. Again, I want to talk about the issue of some women using different types of hijab. Of course, hijab has some characteristics. It must not be transparent. Sometimes we see some women putting a transparent cover under the name of hijab. It must not be colorful. Today's society, we see so many types of hijab that are very colorful. The idea of putting hijab is to cover our beauty. So when you put hijab that also is beautiful, then the essence of hijab is not achieved. We have also seen some hijab that, you know, they should not be, that resembles, you know, attires of men. Under the flag, it is hijab. These are all qualities that we must look into before we put the hijab. It must also fulfill all the criteria of it. That is what I mean of by qualities. It has some characteristics, it has some qualities. So some of these qualities I have enumerated, like it must not be transparent, it will not be very colorful, it will not be adorned with beauty, that is flowers and so on. It must not resemble the hijab of the unbelievers. It must also not resemble the attire of the men, and so on and so forth. So when we are able to do that, you can see that we have fulfilled Allah's obligation. So I want to use this mail to call upon my Muslim sisters, especially for those of us that put on the hijab. Let us put the right hijab so that we can be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For those of us that have little or no knowledge about the position of Islam, I still want to use this medium to educate our sisters that hijab is compulsory, like salat, like fasting. Many of us, you see us, especially during the month of Ramadan, even where we don't put hijab, we change our attire completely. The attire should be changed permanently so that we can gain Allah's reward and pleasure. May Allah accept it from us. May Allah forgive us. May Allah give us the ability and strength to uphold the hijab despite all challenges we find in our society. And we call on the government to support and protect those women that put on the hijab so that they could be able, because it is their fundamental human right. Let them be able to enjoy their fundamental human right as a Muslimah to put on the hijab, irrespective of what work she do, whether she is in the hospital, whether she is in the clinic, whether she is in the ministry, wherever she finds herself as a civil servant, as a worker who wants to contribute to the betterment of her society. She should be allowed to use the hijab so that she can work successfully and comfortably and conveniently without necessarily disobedience or disobeying Allah's instruction while she is also serving her society. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
سائس وسلام عليكم. Peace be with you wa alaykum salam.
MashaAllah, that was Professor Rafa'at Abdul Hamid who took us through the significance of wearing the hijab in Islam. May Allah reward you all, Ameen. And up next on our lineup is the Deen and Dunya segment, where we're going to have the youths who are going to be discussing on a very important aspect of hijab, or let me say the modesty, but they call it modern but modest. So let's also have their views on that. Stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am by name Farida Zakari Abubakar and I'm the host for today's Deen and Dunya episode. And today we're going to be talking about something a lot of women or a lot of youths, it's on our mind, but we really don't talk about it a lot and we really don't go about it the right way. Fashion obsessed but grounded. Embracing modesty in Islam. So today we have a very, very wonderful guest. MashaAllah. Today we have a very beautiful sister. Please introduce yourself, ma'am.
I'm Barrister Zuleha Yusuf, married counselor and life coach, NLP practitioner, certified mediator and chartered mediator and a certified marriage counselor.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And to my far left, we have my co-host.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Mariam Umar Marita.
MashaAllah. So I think I'll put my question to our beautiful guest here. So, Ma, we have a lot of issues or a lot of things surrounding fashion. Like the hijab is made to look like the plain fabric. You just wear the one that you use and be working like someone. So I think we should explain more about what it means to be modest in Islam.
So the topic you said, fashion observed, was grounded, envisages a situation where somebody really wants to look fashionable, but is being restricted, is not being allowed to exhibit, to display what they want to display. Basically, Islam is a religion of modesty. I think that the hallmark of Islam in any society you find Muslims is their modest way of dressing. It is a symbol. Muslims are just epitome of modesty, of chastity, of purity, of all that is reserved. And so that's where, some of our youth may start to feel conflicted, as in, okay, am I allowed to do this or am I not allowed to do this? But there's no need for the confusion, really. Really, there's nothing against you looking nice. I remember a particular hadith by the Prophet ﷺ where he's cautioning his sahabas, his companions, against ostentatiousness and all that. And some people are asking him, but some of us just like to look nice. We want to look good. We want to just, know that, yes, I'm well dressed and all that. And he say, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that drag their clothes out of pride, out of arrogance, just because they want to show that they are better than the other people. So, underlying factor, modesty, no pride or arrogance, no ostentatiousness or wasteful kind of spending, and cover your aura.
How we are not really sure, right, what to wear that is Islamically acceptable or what to wear that's not acceptable. And for me personally, what I do is I just ask myself, can I pray in it? And I feel if you just feel you can pray in it and you have established the knowledge about what you can pray in has already been established since our birth, probably, right? It's been established by parents and your Islamia malams and the knowledge that you're seeking. So that has been established. So you ask yourself if you can pray in it. But nowadays, you are wearing what you think you can pray in, but you can't really pray in it because of how you have accessorized it, or because of how you have, say for example now, I'm wearing an abaya, right? But say I have a kimono belt with it. And this I feel is a very controversial matter. Why? Because people think, abaya is you're wearing a hijab with it, right? You're covering up and it's covering you. But the essence of this abaya is because it's actually larger than you.
Loose fitting.
Right? It's a loose fitting. That's what abaya literally means. It's like a loose fitting dress. But why are you accessorizing and then tying around
to show the shape?
Exactly, to show the shape of the body. So can you shed more light on that?
Okay, so let me just jump right into it. Sheikh Albani, one of our foremost scholars in Islam, was outlining what are the qualities of a Muslim woman's dress. And part of the things he said was it must be loose fitting. It must not show the shape or curvature of her body. It must not show the shape of her body. It must not resemble the dress of unbelievers. For instance, I choose to wear leggings or hipsters. I choose to wear torn jeans, things like that. It must not resemble the dress of people that we know generally are not Muslims. It must not resemble the dress of men. In Islam, gender is specific. We're not confused as to the issue of gender in Islam. We have the female gender, we have the male gender. So we know what men wear and we know what women wear. At the advent of feminism in like the 50s, 60s, the 1970s, there was this push by women that let's dump feminine clothing, let's dump everything that makes us look like women and makes us soft and weak, and wear trousers and cut our hair and things like that. And so there was that trend that came up where women were now dressing like men. But for us as Muslims, we are not allowed to dress in a way that makes us look like a man. So another thing is that it must not be transparent. It must be opaque in that it's not transparent, because there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he says there are two people he has not seen, two people of hellfire that he has not seen in his own lifetime, which is women that will be dressed and yet they are naked. Envisaging a situation where the dress is so transparent that you can actually see everyone as if they're not wearing anything.
I wasn't an abaya girly before. I think people that know me know I wasn't an abaya girly. But when I put on when I started wearing the abaya, I was constant on it because it wasn't a forced move. No one forced me to wear the abaya. No one pushed me to wear the abaya. I decided to wear the abaya, and I personally feel like I look better in an abaya. I look better looking modest. But the problem is most of the time now, people judge people for not dressing modest, right? I feel that's why people drift away from trying to be modest, because, okay, you see the girl working and she wears the kimono and the jeans trouser and they're like, that girl, see how she's opening her shape. Of course, I would feel sad, and maybe I'll change how I look, or I'll try to, okay.
You might decide to just remove the kimono and
walking. Since you have something to say about
I get where you're going, right? And I want to say something about that. Islam is so perfect that it is not a forcible religion. Like it's very simple, like it's so easy. And the fact that, for example, now when the Prophet ﷺ told the believers that the verse on covering, right, has been sent down, and to tell you that it's not like at that point in time, obviously they were uncovered, right? And they might have had to maybe stand up and leave the place, go to their homes and start establishing that. But tell you how much they loved the prophets and they respected and they were so willing to do what Allah said. They started ripping fabrics off their body, trying to like cover up the parts of their body that's to show you how, if deep down you really want to change, like immediately, like you will try to do something, at least for that scenario, at least what I'll do for me, I'll just loosen the belt and pass. But of course, it's a journey. People start small. Maybe before I just was a crop top girl and a jean girl, right, or ripped jean girl, maybe I'll start wearing an inner cap. Then as my iman progresses, I'll start wearing just the veil. As my iman progresses, I wear a short hijab. As my iman progresses, I start putting something longer, right?
Just to add to what you are saying, you know, Islam generally, I want to give your religion, I want to women. We don't force in Islam. Yes. But part of the reason why Allah made us vicegerents on earth, His representatives, His ambassadors, is the fact that we enjoy what is good and we forbid what is bad. Do this. It's about your personal relationship with Allah. He has commanded you to do it. Just like the example you were giving. Allah, the Prophet ﷺ was commending the women of the Quraysh. He said, "May Allah bless the people of the women of the Muhajirin." I think that they are people of Sami'na wa Ata'ana. They hear and they obey. We hear and we obey. That's what Allah describes believers as. They heard about the hijab, you know, and they took their blankets, they wrapped it. And Aisha was talking about the way they were looking when they wrapped their blankets all over. It was like crows sitting in a place. You know the way a crow will look at the back, you know, that black shape of a hijabi kind of this thing. That was the way they were looking. It's the only person that has a right to tell you how to dress or how to do every other thing. So it can be hard. Like she said, it's a journey. You are just, you know, trying to develop. It may not be easy. There are some people in other countries that they wear cap, but they are better than some of us that are wearing niqab. Yes. In the strength of their faith, in the belief that, in the way they perceive their Islam, in the way they connect.
MashaAllah, with the Deen and Dunya segment, we come to the end of this week's edition of the program. Don't forget to join us next week, same time, same station, for another interesting and educative package on your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I remain Aisha Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace be with you.
Facing Him every day, facing Him till we meet our Lord. Allah, there's only one God and Muhammad is His messenger. Allah, La ilaha illallah. Dua is for duha, the morning light. The sun has turned from red to white. Dua is for
want to have your say on television? Are you interested in airing your views? Do you want to send greetings to your loved ones? Or do you want to make musical requests for your beloved? Do you want to showcase your products and services? For all these and more, join us live every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on The Sunday Show. The Sunday Show will give you opportunities weekly to know more about trending things and topical issues. The Sunday Show, your indispensable companion every weekend.
Relive your delightful moments via a telecast. Tell the world what gave you your happiness or pains. And for the how, where, and why. Share your joys of coronation, chieftaincy orders, engagement parties, traditional wedding ceremonies, weddings fatiha, nikah, naming ceremony, church programs, housewarming.
Hello and welcome to the news updates on NT International. I am Charles Alpha. Minister of Education Dr. Olatunji Alausa says the Nigerian education sector appreciates President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his statesman-like decision to immortalize the late President Muhammadu Buhari through the renaming of the University of Maiduguri, Borno State, as Muhammadu Buhari University of Maiduguri. In a statement signed by Director of Press and PR of the Ministry, Boriowo Folashade, the Ministry of Education is honored that the sector has been chosen as the channel through which the late President's legacy will be permanently enshrined. Dr. Alausa noted. He said, President Tinubu's decision reflects not only deep empathy and respect, but also a firm belief in education as the bedrock of national development. His commitment to human capital development is unwavering and consistent with the path of national renewal that President Buhari championed. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, welcomes the signing of the peace agreement concluded on 19th April 2025 in N'Djamena between the government of the Central African Republic and the armed groups of UPC and 3R as part of efforts to revitalize the political agreement for peace and reconciliation in the Central African Republic. The chairperson further welcomes the formal announcement of the dissolution of the UPC and 3R made on 10th July 2025 in Bangui by the respective leaders of the two groups and calls on all remaining armed groups in the Central African Republic to lay down their arms and to commit in good faith to inclusive national dialogue and reconciliation in the supreme interest of the Central African people. He reaffirms the unwavering commitment of the African Union to support the Central African authorities and all stakeholders in the full and inclusive implementation of the political agreement for peace and reconciliation, with a view to consolidating stability, strengthening national cohesion, and advancing the country's sustainable development. Togo held municipal elections on Thursday after rare and deadly protests that rocked the West African country, ruled with an iron fist by the same family since 1967. Young protesters have taken to the streets since June to voice their anger at the state of the economy, widespread unemployment, and the repression of government critics. Such unrest is rare in Togo, as the government of Faure Gnassingbe, in power for 20 years, has in recent years ramped up its crackdown on dissent. Just over half of Togo's 8 million population voted in the last municipal elections in 2019, according to the Electoral Commission, with turnout in the capital especially weak. The dynasty handover sparked mass demonstration against the government, with protests also erupting in 2013, 2017, and 2018. This is the news update on NT International. Many thanks for watching. I am Charles Alpha.
Voters registration exercise ahead of the Anambra polls by 3 days. Experts advocate more efforts to ensure political inclusion for persons with disabilities. Plus, summit gives pointers on key issues in the nation's journey of constitutional democracy. We have inputs on this. We have this and more on the program. I'm Fisayo Gunfui. Welcome. Political inclusion is a fundamental right, and the active participation of persons with disabilities in the democratic process is essential. In Nigeria, persons with disabilities represent a significant portion of the population, yet they often face systemic barriers that hinder their full participation in electoral processes. A political inclusion index tool has evaluated the level of disability inclusivity by INEC, political parties, media and security institutions for the role they play in the electioneering process.
The conversation here centers on political inclusion for persons with disabilities.
Our interest is in you making sure that persons with disability takes their leadership role within the political party.
The political index tool by TAF Africa is being assessed by key political and disability stakeholders to ensure compliance with Nigeria's Electoral Act and other provisions of inclusive practices and policies.
The participation, active participation of people with disability in the highest level of policy making in the country is an essential step that needs to be taken.
The Political Party Inclusion Index is a valuable tool that will help us track progress, identify gaps, and deepen accountability across party structures.
The findings also indicate that INEC and other key institutions have made significant improvements. However, gaps remain in ensuring electoral accessibility.
We have an important update on the race to Government House Awka, because Thursday, the 17th of July, was expected to be the last day for the continuous voters registration exercise CVR in Anambra State ahead of the November 8th governorship election. However, following appeals, INEC has extended the exercise to Sunday, July 20. Statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olumekun, urges eligible voters to take advantage of the extension, as there will be no further consideration on this. At the end of the exercise on Sunday, the Commission will display the register for claims and objections. For emphasis, the continuous voters registration exercise for Anambra governorship election will end on Sunday, July 20, 2025. Meanwhile, INEC says it has received 5 more letters of intent from associations seeking registration as political parties. This brings the number received so far to 134. The National Summit on the Future of Nigeria's Constitutional Democracy has ended in Abuja with far-reaching resolutions on the need for true federalism. The theme of the summit is actualizing constitutional democracy that works for all Nigerians.
The summit, which opened in Abuja this Wednesday, was convened by the eminent patriots in collaboration with the Nigerian Political Summit Group, led by former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyoku and co-chaired by Senators Benga Daniel and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. It seeks to replace the existing 1999 constitution with a new and people-driven framework that reflects Nigeria's diversity, aspirations and federal character. After turn-by-turn presentations on the diversity of various geopolitical zones, the time for adoption of resolutions came, but went into disagreement. Leader of the summit, Chief Emeka Anyoku, thereafter called for a break to restore decorum.
We tend to take 2 steps at a time, believe me, we will be shut down. No. That's my position.
This summit would have been wasted if we do not put forward our proposal for a better re-engineered Nigeria.
This summit should conclude on a very positive note.
Upon resumption, adoption of proposals resumed.
The summit calls for an immediate constitutional framework that will return Nigeria to a truly federal system of government where the federating units will enjoy their autonomy as obtained in the First Republic and other genuine democracies of the world.
Why are we agreeing on a constitution? So that every group of people within the nation should feel safe, feel, protected, preserved, within the country. So what you are seeing in this hall now is that we are debating the resolutions of the conference. We expected it to be very rancorous because those resolutions, every group is going to say, no, we didn't agree, no, this is what we want. That is the part of the dialogue that leads to democratic agreements.
A draft legislative bill for a new constitution of Nigeria is expected to be presented to the Presidency and National Assembly.
As you saw in that clip, in the past few days, some eminent Nigerians under the auspices of the Patriots, in partnership with the Nigerian Political Summit Group, have been generating ideas on the direction of the country and have come forward with some proposals intended to shape the future of our constitutional democracy. We are being joined now by Dr. Abdul Tafawa Balewa, a member of the Patriots. Thank you for joining us on Political Update.
Thank you for having me.
Your event had quite an impressive roll call of Nigerians of high standing. Was the summit able to reach some form of consensus? We saw a little bit of a rancorous session just now, and in terms of some key interventions proposed for inputs in the Constitution, or perhaps completely tearing it up and starting afresh.
No, not at all. If two relatives are locked in a room and they come out smiling, they have not discussed anything. So you expect a very vibrant discussion, and we come up with some very, very interesting ideas. We're not looking for amendments to the present constitution. This present constitution is seen as rotten. It was given to us by the military, and it just does not serve a federal republic like ours. So we're suggesting that we have a totally new constitution. Our constitution is based on the American constitution, but we need to understand how they came about. The very first constitution may be the 10 Commandments, and then you end up with the Bill of Rights in 1066, and then all the other democratic children of those particular papers came around. The American Constitution of 1766 came from immigrants in Europe who were disenfranchised. And then later on, you had so many other parts of the world joining them. It wasn't until 1968, with the population of blacks in the United States, before they can vote. Look at 1766 and 1968. So and that's because their constitution suited them, suited the white people that wrote that constitution initially. Our constitution, in more recent times, have been a potpourri of not so smart ideas. And all we want is for everyone to be able to point to to Nigeria and know it belongs to them. That nobody should feel better belong than any other person.
All right. Well, so we saw some, sessions that were quite, so we saw a little bit of some crossfire there in terms of some of the proposals that were being espoused at the place. What were the thorny issues for you to get to perhaps a communique, or could you call it a consensus, or whatever it is at the end of the summit?
Right. We didn't finish reading our recommendations, and some people decided it should be a communique. Some other people thought it should be a resolution. If it's a if something is resolute, it meant that the entire group of people have reached a decision of what we're discussing. But these are recommendations. They're not. They're broad brushes, suggestions to the government of the day of what we think Nigerians need. And most of the parts of the present constitution does not avail them a lot of the ideas we come up with.
We saw perhaps when we look at the roll call, or at least of people who were part of this summit, so many faces that one could easily reel off just by mere visual recognition. The Michael Zegomis of this world, Baba Emeka Nyoku as well, all of you are in one room. But did you think about the issue of perhaps legislative participation, for instance, to get a buy-in on the concepts that you have distilled in that summit?
That's the main difference between what the Patriots are doing as opposed to what has been done in the past. The Patriots are, made these recommendations and are imploring the legislature to take a look at it, make a bill where we can refurbish our thoughts, our ownership of the ownership of our country in different ways from how the military saw it. It was quite a collegiate affair.
All right, let's look at all this now. Has it been on in terms of the discussion to have this summit? Has it been on for a while? What was the gestation period like before some of these concepts were brought forward? And in terms of concepts and actuality, is it one-off, or it has been an exhaustive summit?
It's very exhaustive. I was watching the television this morning and saw Senator Ned Nwoko saying they were going to go into different parts of the country. We thoroughly combed this country. Each zone had several town meetings, states did also, and then we invited from each zone with their own coordinators to bring in youth, people in the policing services, women's organizations, religious organizations, because we have such a wide array of dialectical religions in Nigeria. We invited everyone. You should have seen the hall. Everything was discussed in very intellectual and collegiate environment.
All right, let me see if I can bring in one of our public affairs analysts. We've been trying to get him at the beginning of the program, Jide Ojo. Jide Ojo joins us via Zoom. Jide Ojo, you've been watching, at least been monitoring what has been happening in the summit in terms of the proposals being sent forward by the Patriots. They've according to their submissions, taking an exhaustive look at what is on ground and perhaps putting forward new ideas to guide and shape Nigeria's journey henceforth. What are your interventions at this time as we near the close of program?
Well, thank you, Fisayo. I think we should commend the Patriots for standing fast. They've been very steadfast in proffering solution to the myriads of leadership challenge in this country, and they are proposing a new constitution. However, my worry about what the Patriot is doing is that it's coming a bit late. Preparation for the next election is afloat. But this time next year, primaries and all of that will have happened. National Assembly is well in advance of amending the Constitution. And if you are asking that all of that be jettisoned and then we should change direction and move from presidential system to parliamentary system, it then means that for all of these things to work through, you may have to put 2027 election in abeyance in order to get, that's if there is a buy-in of the presidency and then the leadership of the National Assembly. It may take, because the process of constitutional, betting a new constitution is very tedious. They are also calling for not just change of change of political system. They are also calling for a referendum, that there will be a constituent assembly, there will be a referendum, then there will be a new constitution, and then before it becomes operational. We are barely 1 year to the next election. I'm just looking at that. If this had come up last year, although they did say they met with President Bola Tinubu last year, and he said, well, they should give him some time to think it through. But coming around this time, when the National Assembly has spent billions of naira in constitutional amendment exercise, and also when the preparation for the next round of elections seems to be in earnest, this may not actually work out, and may just be another beautiful ideas on the shelf of the presidency when it's eventually submitted. So that's just the grasp I have. And I do hope, yeah, very brilliant ideas. You want so many resource control, you want parliamentary system of government, you want issues, lingering issue of leadership, separating office of accountant general, auditor general, and the office of attorney general from that of minister of justice. These have been an issue that have been on long before now, but it doesn't seem to get nationwide applause or approval for all of this to happen. So they may need to do a lot more groundwork, maybe after 2027 election, and then before we get consumed with the election of 2031. If by maybe towards the end of 2027 or early in 2028, this may be a very, very good idea that could be considered by the administration. But right now, I do not see how they intend to get this through with the National Assembly and the presidency.
About the timelines, Jide just raised some issues. What about the timelines?
I need to talk to some of the points that he brought up. One, the timeline, we're not rewriting a constitution. We're recommending that a group need to be set up representing very small parts of the country that are chosen by their own people. That is one. Secondly, we're not proposing parliamentary system of governance or the bicameral American type of democracy. What we said was that this type of federal democracy is too expensive. And you can see with 109 senators and over 300 congressmen, state reps, and their needs, their staff, all the emoluments, too expensive for the system. And we thought that the parliamentary system of governance can be looked into. There seemed to be a lot more calm in our environment during that time. That is true. I just wanted to clear those two points.
Doc, I don't think we can, just like it happened in your summit, a lot of questions and answers and loud voices as well. I'm not sure we will be able to exhaust, some of the opinions today, but we want to thank you for coming, Doctor, and hope.
And three, we saw the emergence of Action Congress from the old ashes of Alliance for Democracy. We have Action Congress. Then later we have Action Congress of Nigeria. Then later in 2007, we have Muhammadu Buhari floating CPC, Congress for Progressive Change. Then, of course, we have had merger, we have had working alliances. And ADC, which seems to be the new bride now, has been in existence since 2005 when it was registered. So it's a party of 20 years old. But because of alignment of interest, we now see a kind of pilgrimage into ADC. But again, it reminds us that this is not the first time ADC has been adopted as a game changer, as a third force. It did happen in 2019 when former President Olusegun Obasanjo touted it as the game changer. But we saw that it was of no moment at that time. Then in 2023, we saw two new parties that gained strength, NMPP in Kano and then the Labour Party, which also, just like ADC, were there for a very long time before some personality that move into them gingered and make the political parties vibrant. So that's what is happening with ADC. But how they manage their transitional period, because they are now in transition, new people are coming in. By the time they will start to constitute their ward level, local government, state level, executive, down to their zonal executive, to the national convention, that's when the first challenge will come. Second challenge will be, will they have the resources to bankroll the running of the party, the party administration? Number three is their presidential nomination. How will it pan out? Atiku has formally resigned from PDP. We have seen Dele Momodu resigning from PDP. We have seen quite a number of other people, including Gabriel Susan, former governor of Benue State, also joining ADC. But when nomination comes, that's when you see the ruffle fight. And how they manage that will determine the vibrancy and how well they can perform in 2027. But also I've warned that APC should not take it for granted. How APC will manage the transition from Ganduje to a new national chairman is very important. What will happen after the convention of APC in December 2025 will also be a barometer to know whether there will be an implosion within APC that ADC can cash on.
Jide Ojo, our public affairs analyst, and of course our guest for today, Dr. Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, who also came in just after his conference there. I've been sitting in representing Nigerians and putting a lot of thoughts together in our state, of course, in the nation's journey towards even better nationhood. We'll be looking at, of course, how that progresses. Many thanks, gentlemen. I keep on saying about the Nigerian political scene these days. It's almost looking like the European football transfer window, and the players are moving from Milan to Real Madrid and all kinds of movements. Thank you very much for being a part of it. We'll be back again on Tuesday. Between now and then, play your policies for the greater good and keep it locked on Africa's largest and finest, Nigerian Television Authority, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello friends, welcome to Kitty's World. Hope you have been doing well because we have been doing well. Talking about we, I'm not here alone because I have Ruth here with me. How have you been, Ruth?
I'm fine. How have you been?
I've been good.
How's school?
It's going well.
As you all know, my name is Ruth, your aka host with the most. Now we're going to do some of our exercises just to feel a bit light and relaxed before today's fun and adventurous activities.
So friends, I'm sure you guys must have been refreshing by the exercise. Right now, I want to go ask our my friends questions.
My name is Helena Samuel Mary. Bensichun Almogo. Eze Solomon. Esem Chime Mary Michelle. My name is Alvin Arutere. My name is Elijah Arutere. Apples, bananas, and oranges. Oranges, bananas, pawpaw. Apples, bananas, and watermelon. Mangoes, apples, and bananas. Pineapple, strawberry. Grapes, apple, and banana. For vegetables, I'll say cabbage, carrots, and onions. For my fruits, I'll say apple, watermelon, and grapes. My favorite yummy and healthy snacks is cheese balls. I love cheese balls because it's crunchy and soft. Pizza and shawarma. Biscuits. Popcorn and smoothie. For my snack, cream crackers. Apple, watermelon, and grapes. I feel strong and happy. I feel strong and healthy. I feel so healthy and happy. I feel so good. I feel happy and energized. I feel fine and nourished and strong. I feel strong and nourishing. love noodles because it's quick to cook and it's delicious. Bread and tea. Hash browns, bacon and salad. Rice and stew. Tea and bread. Scrambled eggs. Bread and tea.
So, Otim, what's your favorite breakfast food that you usually start your day with?
I don't really eat breakfast that much, so I can't say.
Wow.
Hope it's okay because the way you're looking at me, I think I can tell.
No. Well, for me, I usually like pancakes.
young adventurers. Today we're going to talk about something super important for our bodies: healthy eating. I'm excited to share some cool facts and tips with you. Let's dive in. So why do we eat healthy? Well, our bodies are like cars and food is like fuel. We need the right fuel to keep our bodies running smoothly. Healthy food helps us grow strong, have lots of energy, and even fight off sicknesses. Imagine being able to play your favorite sports, run around with your friends, and have lots of energy to do all the things you love. That's what healthy eating can do for you. So what are some healthy food we should be eating? Let's talk about different food groups. We've got fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, and dairies. Each group gives us different nutrients that helps our bodies grow strong and healthy. For example, fruits like apples and bananas gives us fiber and vitamins. Veggies like broccoli and carrots gives us vitamins and minerals. Whole grains like brown rice, millet, and popcorn gives us fiber and energy. Now let's talk about some healthy snacks and meal ideas. We can make our own trail mix with nuts, seeds, and dried fruits. We can also make sandwiches with whole grains bread, lean meat, and veggies. And don't forget about breakfast. We can have oatmeal with fruits and nuts, pap and akara, or scrambled eggs with fried plantains. Here are some cool tips for healthy eating. First, always eat a rainbow of colors on your plate. This means eating variety of fruits and veggies. Secondly, drink a lot of water throughout the day. And thirdly, try new foods and flavors. You might discover a new favorite. Remember, healthy eating is all about making smart choices and having fun with our foods. It is super important for our bodies. Try some new healthy foods and snacks, and don't forget to drink enough water. Bye!
Right now, we're going on a break.
And when we come back, we'll be going to the kitchen
to make yummy meals, snacks, or what could it be? I guess
it's a mystery. Come with us to find out.
Hello friends. My name is Omar with Erse. Here with me is
Tayo and Kosi Justina, and today we have many fun things in store for you.
I had so much fun and I hope you had fun.
Exactly, it was exciting, especially when I saw the lion, cheese, and
Hello. Hello. How y'all doing?
Thank you. Welcome back from that break, friends. Right now we're in the kitchen of the chef who's going to talk to us about healthy living. Thank you so much for letting us into your kitchen.
This is Iai, that's my name.
It's nice meeting you, Mrs. Iai.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. You're all looking good. Thank you. Okay, so you were talking about healthy eating, right? Healthy eating is very, very important in the life of children. And for me, I stand for healthy and yummy meals. That's my motto. So I'm so excited that you guys, that's my motto. So I'm so excited that you guys are here so that we can talk. But before we start, how many of you know what it means